I'm Marlo with Marlo Gets Fit, coming to you from Grass Pass, Oregon on this beautiful, very noisy night. I was reading an article that I found very, very interesting on the 4 laws of muscle, and I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was really interesting. I thought it might be something that you might find interesting too, especially if you're wanting to bulk up or just keep the muscle you have, especially as we get older. It's really important. So let me just get this shared really quick. And hope you had a great day. Happy Monday. Hopefully you had a good day today, start of the week. Set your goals today. There it is. Thank you, Facebook. Okay, cool. So, yay, happy Monday. I hope you had a good day. Set your goals. That's what I've been working on all day. Well, not all day, but today I've been working on setting my goals for the week, my activity goals, like, how many times I'm going to work out. That's one of my big things. And how many, I'm definitely sticking to the low carb, being stricter, going to reach out to so many people for my business, and I have some projects for my business, and I have some projects at home I'm also working on. So I'm trying to set all those goals for the week. So at the end of the week, you can, celebrate your progress. Sometimes you don't always get the things done you want, but you're always making progress, and you got to congratulate yourself as you do it. My porch kitty is watching me do my video, so. Anyway, so today was a good day. Busy at work, of course, and then we had pulled pork sliders. I used the keto buns with sugar-free barbecue sauce, and it was very, very yummy. Love those buns. They do make a difference when you have some bread craving. They're really, really nice to have, and also the keto bread. So that was really good. And since I'm trying to get in more exercise, working on that, that's one of my big goals, is getting that exercise in, and I'm having a hard time with it. No more volleyball for a while. I'm not sure when we're going to get to play again, so I got to get that exercise in. So I did dig out this thing. I do have the exercises I do throughout the day, and I have a Versa climber that I get on and do that. So I got this out, a little stretchy thing, because then I can build the muscles in my arms. And so I've been doing that, and I did that a couple times, and already I'm feeling it. My muscles are burnt. They're kind of sore, so that's a good thing. Good thing being sore. So I'm excited about that. So let me just go over the 4 laws of muscle. I found this article. Actually, someone shared it online, and so I thought it was really interesting because it talked about this is the protein and muscle guru, Luke Van Loon, which I had never heard of before, but he wants you to bulk up and keep what you've got, which that's so important, because I know I've always heard that the more muscle you have, the more calories you're burning just at rest and not doing anything, because they burn more calories than fat. So I've always known that you definitely want to have more muscle than fat, of course. But it says, let's see. So they did a study, and he was sharing some study they were doing at a conference. He was studying or sharing results of a study they had done, and it was saying that, let's see, muscle lost in 1 week by subjects is 3.1 pounds, like if they're sedentary, like in a hospital bed or something like that. So if you get injured or something, and you're just laying in bed for a week, you can lose up to 3.1 pounds. And that is crazy. That is a lot of muscle to lose. So that's and it's very hard to get it back. It says let's see, but it says you can mess up a lot more in 1 week than you can improve in 6 months of training. And I had heard that before, like you can really, it's really sad because you can put 6 months of hard training in and then just blow it up in like a week's time by doing the wrong thing. So that's really a little bit discouraging, makes you realize how much you have to maybe stick to it, and try not to do all those cheats or anything. But I think if you're doing just a small thing, like you can't screw it all up in a day, but if you do consistently over a week or so time, you can really go backtrack quite a bit. But it says here, let's see, he is one of the world's most rigorous and innovative researchers in how we build our muscles. But now he's come to believe that it's not just how you build it, but it's also how you lose it is very important. Let's see, some key lessons. So he goes over key lessons for anyone who seeks to push their limits or is going to get old, because you want to keep them as much muscle as you have. So number 1, you are what you ate. It says they did a study. If you really want to understand how protein contributes to your new muscle, you need to be able to follow the individual components, the amino acids. So they did this study where they put these traceable isotopes into a cow. So they put it into a cow, and then they were able to trace it, how fast it went from eating to get into the muscles. This is really pretty interesting. So they traced it, and they said substantial amounts of the glowing cow, because it was traceable isotopes, the protein was incorporated into the muscle within just 2 hours of ingesting it. As it proclaims, you are quite literally what you just ate. It says just over 50% of the protein made it into the subject's circulation within 5 hours, and they presume that the rest of it was just not absorbed or went through the system. It says during the same period, 11% of the ingested protein was incorporated into new muscle. So we break down and rebuild 1 to 2% of our muscles each day, meaning that you can completely rebuild yourself every 2 to 3 months. That is pretty crazy to think about, that your muscle is totally rebuilding itself every 2 to 3 months. It's rebuilding itself. So if you're eating, bad things, maybe it's not so good for you. You're rebuilding your muscle with the bad stuff. So he hopes that might persuade people to think a little more carefully about what they put into their mouths. So that makes sense. Number 2, if you exercise first, you're more of what you just ate. That's interesting. It says, we often think of amino acids as the building blocks of muscle. That's true. The amino acids derived from protein actually play a dual role in muscle growth. In addition to being a source of raw materials, protein acts as a signaling molecule, triggering the growth of new muscle. So it's real important to eat the protein. It says, there's a bug flying around here. Let's see. So there are a bunch of subtleties here, but the optimal dose of protein in healthy adults, they're saying like 20 grams of protein for 175 pounds, and to do that 3 or 4 or even 5 times a day. And they wanted to test pre-bedtime doses, and they wanted to see if you ate protein right before you went to bed, would that help you build muscle overnight? And they found that it actually did work. And so they've had people that are in sports, into sports, and athletes actually look into that because they're trying to build more muscle. So you eat the protein right before you go to bed. It's really interesting. Says you can just eat protein before you go to bed, and that will work. The best way to augment protein's muscle signaling capacity is simply exercise before you eat, and your muscle becomes more sensitive to protein signals. So if you exercise before you eat, you'll build even more muscle faster and better. Number 3, if you're inactive, you're less of what you just ate. Interesting. So it's unfortunately there are also factors that make your muscle less sensitive to protein signaling. Getting older is one of them, which is why older adults seem to need larger doses of proteins per pound of body weight. And it says, but is it really age that causes this resistance, or is it simply consequences of our unfortunate habit of becoming less physically active as we age? So is it that the age itself, or is it just because we are not as active as we age? Interesting. It says, so he looked at that bed rest study again, and according to catabolic crisis model of aging, we don't lose our muscle mass at a steady and predictable rate. Instead, much of the loss takes place during short periods of time. So it's like a week in bed rest after a fall, or a knee replacement, or something like that. So during which we lose massive amounts of the body mass, and we never fully get it back. So that's why I think when older people fall and they have injuries and stuff, it's really hard for them to come back. He says there is some simple fixes that you can do, though. It says never ever feed a person in their hospital bed if possible. Make them get up, at least get up, and if possible, make them get up and actually have to shuffle down the hallway to someplace to eat. That way they're getting some activity. And they say the same for watching TV. Don't let them watch TV in the bed. Make them get up and go somewhere and sit and watch, so at least they're getting that much activity. And also feed more protein. Let's see. And of course, some people really can't get out of bed. So they did do some tests with neuromuscular electrical stimulus, NMES, and they found that that did help for people who can't get out of bed. They did a study with comatose patients, and they showed biopsies showed that these patients were seeing a 20 to 30% reduction in the size of their muscle fibers during their hospital stays. That is crazy. Basically, the people are melting in front of your face. And so they decided to do a test, and they zapped the one leg of patients with that neuromuscular electrical stimulation twice a day for a week, and that again warded off atrophy. It says the approach is nowhere near as good as even the most basic exercise, but it appears to be better than nothing. Interesting. So number 4, chew your food. So they're not sure how this is significant, but they did notice that in their studies with the cow studies, that they compared ground beef or steak. The ground beef was absorbed more quickly, with 61% of the amino acids in the ground beef appearing in the bloodstream within 6 hours versus 49% for steak. So they don't know how significant that is, but it's worth noting. And they said since we tend to get less good at chewing as we age, is that possibly a thing, something to look at? Because they said that they've shown that people who've kept more of their teeth as they age actually have more muscle mass. So maybe it's something to do with chewing, and that helps if you're able to chew your food better. Kind of interesting. So anyway, that's the research that I'm sharing. I felt that it was pretty interesting because, especially the how you're rebuilding your muscle. I just in 2 to 3 months you can totally rebuild your muscle into it's totally new muscle. That's just crazy. I didn't realize that your body actually did that. So I found that really interesting, and how you want to eat better. And his conclusion is that it boils down to a simple message: eat 3 protein-rich meals a day, get plenty of exercise, and sit up straight and chew your food. So I thought that was really interesting. It does make me think a lot more about really watching. I've been doing low carb for 3 years, but maybe making sure that I am getting my vegetables, because that is one thing I have always struggled with, getting enough vegetables in there. So maybe I want to make sure I get good vegetables, make sure that my protein amounts are good. It's something to think about, that your body is rebuilding itself over and over. But it did make me think that I really want to do some more strengthening exercises, which I haven't been doing for a while. That's why I got the little bungee thing, so I can do some of my arm exercises. I've been doing a lot of arm exercises to try to build up some muscle, and that way I can burn more calories. And I think it's going to help when you get older. The more muscle you have, the better you are. So I hope that was interesting to you. I thought it was really interesting. I kind of probably slaughtered it in the translation, but I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, if you want some, easy way to get exercise into your daily routine, because I know I'm super busy. I'm at the computer all day long, and I have a tendency to sit there and say, I'll get to it, and then I never, by the end of the day, I don't get up unless I set an alarm once an hour, and then I have a list of 7 fat burning exercises that you can do in like 5 minutes or less, and I do those 5 or 6 times a day, and that helps me to get gets like 25-30 minutes of exercise in. So I think I'm going to do that. And if you want that list, I'd be happy to send it to you. Just send me a private message and say 7 exercises, and I'll send it to you. You can add that to your list of things that you're doing throughout the day to try to get that exercise in. I know I'm doing that. And then I also have my band that I'm going to do the arm muscles, get some arm muscles built up a little bit. I've been slacking on my arms, and I want to also get the jump rope out. I think that was really cool. I was having fun with that, because at first I could do like 3 jump rope 3 times around, and now I'm up to like 20 or 21 or something like that, which I know probably think is crazy, but that jumping is intense. So anyway, if you'd like that list, just send me a private message and I'll send that to you. And be sure and set your goals for the week, and have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.